So how many we got?
Right, we're pretty good now.
40 plus?
I'm gonna hit the record button, Andy. So that's gone,
Oh, I don't
and
know. I I might should take this off if it's going to be recorded for
now it's
posterity.
recorded.
No,
Right,
keep it on for posterity.
Oh, no.
right, over to you, Andy.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all well, and looking forward to what we're going to show, and the usual chaos that we bring on these demo days. So we've obviously got a lot to show. Just a couple of things to kickstart. For anybody who wants to wants to pre-order, we've only got that, I think, continuing for another week. Basically, it's the end of Jan, so then the pre-order price stops. So just be warned if you want to get that soon. So a little bit of an update. We obviously did the demo. I think, when was that, Juice? Was that December? We did the last one.
The last thing we did?
Was it December or end of November? I can't remember. But anyway.
December.
Yeah, December. So we obviously showed some early versions. What we're going to be doing today is showing some updated demos of some of the things you've already seen. We've got a couple of new things we're going to show you. We've got a really tiny thing we're going to show at the end. I think I undersold that enough. Don't you think, Juice?
It's not important at all. Everyone's going to be very bored at that point, Andy. So they'll probably turn off.
Yeah, it's going to be boring. I wouldn't recommend waiting to the end. No, you're really going to want to see the tiny thing we're going to show at the end. So I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown of some of the things that are in 2025. So one of the biggest problems is working out what we're going to show, what we weren't going to show. So I just thought I'd cover a load of things just to give you an understanding of what's coming in the 2025 Lightwave. Okay, so I'm reading from a list. So give me a few seconds and just forgive me looking down. So finally, Python 2 and 3 are coming in 2025 as switchable. So you'll be able to basically boot up and switch to use either Python 2 or Python 3. That means you can have a full 100% backward compatibility, plus obviously the new Python 3 as well. So that's coming. That's basically working now. Not something very easy to demo, obviously. So, but we've got that in there. Ripper is obviously in there. We've shown a little bit of that before. We'll show a little bit more of that today. That's been updated, got a few more features in it. And I'll also be able to give you a bit of an idea of what's coming for that as well as time goes on. We've then got, I can't tell you what that is, but it's going to be the last thing we show, which is, I think, super cool.
Oh, did it?
Undersell it. It's minor.
Right. It's
a
nothing.
Minor thing.
It's minor.
It's
totally
nothing.
Minor.
And that's going to be the last thing we show. We've got so the GLTF update. I think as you know, we've already got the GLTF converter inside Lightwave. That basically converts things on the fly for Ripper. But that GLTF saver, we've got that working now. We're going to have that working with animated content by release. So that's going to be in there. We've got Step It, Hand It, and Picket coming. I'll show just a little bit of those today because obviously you've seen Step It before, but that's the auto walk cycle creator for Rigit. We've got super normals. We're going to be doing a little bit on that to show a bit on that. That is super cool, by the way. The super normals is the first time we've been able to create the normals in Lightwave. Go on, Deuce.
Well, yeah, we've been able to load and use normal maps, but we've never had the ability to do anything with them. So it's really been kind of an interesting thing as I've been playing with it. It's a functionality that we never really had. I mean, I always knew it as, oh yeah, that's the thing you turn off because I couldn't. Yeah,
no, it's true.
It, right?
Yeah. Well, it was pretty much automated in Lightwave, so it was under the hood. It didn't utilize it, and other packages have had much more need to actually have control over it. And what we're adding there is something there that is going to have some really cool functionality, and there are some things it's able to do that I never even thought about before, which are just fantastic. Anyway, so there's the supernormals, there's render engine improvements, which we're going to show a little bit on today as well. And I know we've talked about improving the anti-aliasing system and stuff like that, and we have done little improvements in the past, but they've been relatively small and no one really noticed. But what we're going to be showing today is a bit of a sea change of how that works, and some significant speed improvements on render output inside Lightwave. So we're going to be showing it a bit on the render engine as well. That's to do with the reconstruction filters. So just be mindful. You're going to want to see that, and I think Juice is going to give a run through on how that works. So we're going to have that. We've got something which we just talked about, whether we should talk about because it's really difficult to talk about. But we've got we are updating the mesh system internally, and that's going to be there. Anyway, I'm skipping over that, but it's going to be included.
There's bits of it that it makes it easier to deal with and work with larger data sets in layout, and moving those data sets around. So it's not one of those things. It's like, it's not a tool, so it's not something you can show. It's just something that you just kind of take our word for.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so we've also got octane gradients done. So you can use what is a recognizable gradient in Lightwave with octane. So we've got that done. There's actually some other bugs we fixed with octane. Loads of those in there. I don't think we're going to be listing those today, but we've done a lot.
I would like, because I get the emails all the time. I get the emails all the time from users, and I'm going to go ahead and say it out loud. I'm going to say it here, loud and proud. Ready? HDR Light Studio, HDRLS. Everyone's probably knows about this. We've got it fixed, guys. We got it fixed. It's now working with Octane and with Native. So worked with the guys at Lights at shoot, I can't think of the Lights. Good grief, totally blank on it. Anyway, the guys at the studio, the guys that wrote it, great guys. We worked back and forth with them. I got with some power users. We got that fixed. So seriously, really, really cool. I know a lot of people are going to be happy on that one.
Yeah. And that's just it's actually mega important also for studios using it. So kind of that was a really cool thing to fix. DP tools, which I think we only skipped on last time. So just to confirm it, we're putting the DP tools into Lightwave. Some of them will be later in the year. Some of them will be in 25. Currently, Kip Filter, Verdu, Micro Displacement, and the render tool, so RenderMan tools, our tools. I don't know what he's called, what that was called, but anyway, they're all going to be included, and they're in the current build we're playing with. So so we've got the RenderMan stuff going in as well. The DP tool stuff going in, which is great. We've got a new tool called Construct. We're going to show you a bit on that today. Construct is super cool. Does actually multiple things, but one of the things it does is like stair construction, whatever. We'll be showing that in a few minutes, giving you a little demo of that. Displacement brush, almost forgot to talk about that, I think last time and this time, but it's because it's been completed for a little while, but that's brand new. So it's a displacement brush, is now a brand new one of those, super easy to use, super fast to use. That's included. The displacement brush and the previous brush one were beta tested by a lot of the Japanese studios, so it was something that we were working on for the anime studios, and they needed, and anyway, it's been pretty heavily tested.
Andy,
we'll have that in there. Yep.
Did you mention something about DuPont?
Yeah, DP tools. Yes, I did.
Yes. What about them?
That. Oh, they're going in. They're now all included with Lightwave. they're going to be in 2025, and some of them are going to be going in straight away. Some of them are going to be going in later. Did you miss what I just literally anyway?
It sounded like you brushed
yes.
over it far too quickly for what it was.
Oh no! It's a big thing. So it's all the nodes and everything is going to be included with Lightwave. Basically, we've done a full agreement with him to basically include all of DP's DuPont's tools into Lightwave. Obviously, we're not just basically putting them in as they are. We're obviously upgrading all of those. So that's the only reason why some of them are coming in delayed. So we're literally updating all of them as we get them. We update them and we're putting them into the program. So yeah, the DP's ambient occlusion stuff and all of those things will be in there, and all of them will be fully updated and working. Where some of them weren't working, we're already fixing them and have already fixed a load. So that's being, some of those are still being worked on today, and obviously more of those will be fixed and sorted over this coming year. I think I covered that better that time. Good. Juice, you want to add to that? Is there anything you want to add, or are we good?
I'm going to get in trouble.
Okay.
I just want to say that his name is Denis Pontonnier, just for any French people listening.
Yeah.
That's
so,
why I call
it. Good.
DuPont. Yeah, it's like the paint.
Yeah, DuPont. Yeah. Much easier. So we've also so obviously it's displacement brush, etc. So we've also added in we're going to be adding in a stack of presets as well. So we talked about wanting to do that for a very long time. It takes a long time to do. We've got a stack of presets for surfaces. So I'm not going to give an amount, but there's well over 150 surfaces being added, both for Octane inside Lightwave, so you don't have to go out of Lightwave to grab them. There's a load inside, and then there's a load of new surfaces added in to Lightwave standard surfacing as well. So we're doing that. There's also going to be volumes in there, which will include bits from OpenVDB in there as presets. And again, we'll be adding more and more to those. And likewise, if any of you guys are creating presets, you can send them in as long as you're okay for us to add them and we check them and they're working well. We'll include them as well into the presets. There's also there's other presets in there as well. I'll get to that in a minute. So we've got there's a couple of tools that I won't mention today, which are coming. They're just not finished yet, so we're not sure if they're going to be ready for release. But there's we'll hopefully mention them on the day of the release if they're ready. There's I think we mentioned this last time, but we're updating the particle system as well. So there'll be effectively a particle system 2, which we're working on. So that's being done as well. So that gives you a fairly big list of what we're working on and what is being put together. So I think that is now probably time for me to share screen and start showing some bits and bobs. I wonder what to do first, so Ripper or something brand new. What do you think, Juice? Give me a steer.
Fire up Ripper. Let's start with
Ripper.
that.
Okay, so let's go. So just a usual thing. All of this stuff is in beta. As usual, we're receiving the stuff today, yesterday. So something may crash. Something may not work quite the way we planned. Just bear with us. It's obviously, pretty much by the seat of our pants as usual. So let me just get up. Let's close that. I'll share my screen in a second. Give me a second. So I want to just get that build up. Make sure I close that. Yeah, good. Okay. Give you a sec. So I'm just going to share my screen. So hopefully we're doing this at a higher record rate. So actually, is it worth me doing the quick key again, Juice, just to make sure?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, it can't hurt, can it? So let's just do
it
it.
as many times as we need.
Yeah. So hopefully this is refreshing at a faster rate than normal. So let me just load in a scene. So this again, it very much beta. It's not finished. There's still loads being done with it, but I kind of just want to cover it.
There have been improvements and such from the last time we showed this.
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, quite a bit. I mean, there were a lot of user feedback about things, or could we have this, could we have that? And a lot of those things we were already working on. But for all intensive purposes, yeah, hopefully this will answer more of the things that we were talking about last time. So, okay, so let's just change this to Ripper. I need to move that menu bar. It does take a few seconds to come up. So, okay, so we've got the Ripper. This is what you saw last time. And so let's call up the interface. So on the interface, we've now got a little bit more on this. So we've got the ability to, as you can see here, do a render and preview. So you can do that. You can also adjust the render passes. So you can have it with more render passes or less render passes. Obviously on the environment, we can change to a different HDR. So, you could, I can't think of the name of the free library, but there's several libraries out there that have 500 plus HDRs. I've been and loaded and downloaded a load of those. So what was that, Ben?
Polyhaven.
Yeah, Polyhaven. Yeah, and so I mean, Polyhaven is actually a very good place. They've got a stack of them up there. You can just go there, download the HDRs. They work great. So actually, a few of these were. I think that one I've got in the background is from Polyhaven. We'll have some included, but you can just literally swap over the HDRs as you wish. To whatever you want it to be, and even obviously ones created in Lightwave, whatever you need, you can swap those over. You can also adjust the luminosity of those, so you can up and adjust those on the fly. So very, very easy. You can have the HDR in the background or not in the background. On the camera, now this feature was working. It's not working on this particular build, but basically you will be able to adjust the apertures so you can do depth of field. We're also going to be adding a bunch of other things, which actually I'll come to that at the end and just sort of cover what we're also going to be adding. We've got thin walled glass, solid glass, and you can adjust the like the refractive index of the glass. And obviously we got the you can turn everything on in glass if that's what you wish to do. Solid glass obviously is going to react vastly differently than thin wall glass, but we've got both there. So let's just deal now with the bits you haven't seen and talk about this. So we have the ability now. So actually, let me just play this straight away just so you know it's working. So let's click that. So basically this scene has got all these objects playing, rotating instantaneously. You can save that up as a preview, which is what we talked about last time. So for putting together your previews, that's great. You can knock out a quick and dirty preview, really real simple. But also you have now the ability to click on the render option, and now we can up the quality or quantity of passes. So we could put 50 passes in, and it will now do 50 passes instead of one pass or no passes, whatever you want to have. So 50 passes equates to about a second a frame. So as opposed to just running out a pass and saving it, and that's your preview, you could now save this out like a mini render, and that 50 passes will take about a second a frame, and you can then choose where you want to output that. So let's pick a directory. I'm not going to click render because it just will keep going until it stops. So, but effectively that means you can then render out a 50 pass or 100 pass or even 150 pass, 200 pass, whatever you want over your preview. 50 is a second, so it's still super fast and enables you to render that out. So what I'm going to do in a few seconds, or when I finish this bit of the demo, I've saved out a naked pass with no render passes on it, or just one render pass on it, and I've then done another one with 50 render passes and added a little bit of noise reduction in Fusion, which took a few minutes to do. So I'll put both of those up there so you can see them at higher quality, because obviously on here it's going to be a case of whatever speed the refresh is being recorded at, you're seeing it not necessarily in real time. So it is playing back faster, much faster than 25 frames per second. So it's really fast, super smooth here. It might be jerking at your end, but that's actually as it's playing back. When you do it with the 50 passes, that will slow down. Okay, so let me just show you, so you can see that's I mean, you may not be noticing it, but that's obviously considerably more jerky, right? So I just wanted to show that. So we can readily change out the HDRIs. We can do a dump out to a folder, and we can change the render pass quantity. Plus also, we can just do a screen grab. So I can click on screen grab. Let me do that. Bang. Once you've done the screen grab, we can go and find it. There's the screen grab. We've just grabbed that. And so you could even use it for just doing storyboards, outputting individual storyboard frames. Just do a grab, bang, very easy, very flexible. Again, that's kind of where it's at right now. Now, we're going to be doing a load more things with it. So I just want to cover this. I'll just quickly go through these. So what we're adding to it in the short term, we're adding bump mapping, normal mapping, subsurface scattering, anisotropic materials, clear coat functionality, and translucency, or the translucency you've already seen, obviously, with the transparency. We've also going to be putting area lights in from triangles, so we're going to be adding that in. And then on top of that, I don't know whether this will be in the short term or maybe 4 or 5 months down the line, but we will be adding in clip map support, vertex displacement support, discontinuous UV support, motion blur, smoothing group support. So it really will give you an immense amount of capability, and that's from obviously what is effectively our animatic preview system. So it's only going to get better, but it's great now, and I've actually already used it on one job already. So the great thing about it, of course, it's not good enough that they can just rip it off and use it, but it's good enough that they can see what it's going to look like, and they can see what the lighting is going to be like. So and just to give you a quick comparison with that, if I turn on the VPR, you can see the VPR, obviously that's got a different lighting model, but it's more or less the same, but obviously considerably slower. Okay, so so that's the Ripper. Actually, I've still got that on 50. Let's turn it back down. Go to preview. There we go. Back to the real time. It's stable. It's good. It works great. And obviously we're making improvements with that all the time. So that's the first thing we're going to show today. So let me just close that down and get back on camera. So there we go. Am I back?
You're back.
Good. Okay, right. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so I'm just gonna give me a few seconds while should I do the next one, Juice? You okay with that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so let me just change my build. Go to this. And here we go. Okay. So, okay, so this next tool is originally, I suppose, when we first looked at it, we was thinking it was going to be just a modeling tool. Then we thought, well, okay, maybe it could be a layout tool, and then we thought maybe it can be a node tool. In actual fact, what we've done is make it for all three. So this can be used in the modeler. It can be used in in your notes, and I'm just going to do it this way just for simplicity. So here I'm just going to add it under the modifier stack.
That's the danger of not having a good, oh heck, let's just make all three.
Yeah. So it's available everywhere. So what this basically is, it's ability to make obviously stairs, and we all know how difficult they are and how time consuming they are to put together. So I just really want to give you a quick run through this. Now this, again, it's not finished, it is beta, and just so you know, actually just to quickly show you, there are presets for it, so you can load up presets. So you can use it for decking, you can use it for shelves, you could use it for creating stairs inside a house. You could do it for stairs up a cliff if you want. And it's got some presets there that kind of match all of those sort of needs you might want to create. So you might be doing a beach scene with a cliff and want the stairs going up the cliff or up the beachhead or whatever. All of those things, we've got some presets in there that will enable you to sort of do those sort of things. So let's just quickly, now I have to be careful, obviously this is beta, there are things that aren't yet finished, but it's really fun. So if I click on the top of it, I can make a platform. I can add more stairs as I go. I also can move that platform up and down as I use it. So let me just keep on going here. So I'll zoom that in a little bit. And basically what you've got here is a plus and minus key just to add those or subtract those as I want to place them in. I also can rotate these. So actually, let me just go back so I can see where I'm clicking. So I can basically flip it round in different directions. Okay, and I can do obviously the same at the top. So we've got basically the ability to make stairs into whatever shape we want. So over here, what we've got here is a load of bits to enable you to then customize that and sort of adjust that. We can take out the risers, so you can do sort of stairs that are hollow. We can put the risers back in. Then we've got the stringer. So the string is the bit that sort of props up the stairs. We can sort of up that, so we can add more of those under the stairs. And actually, if I just quickly spin that round, you can see there, we can actually make them thicker, thinner. We can make them longer. We can even make those stringers go straight down to the ground if that's what we want. You've got lots of flexibility in how you can have those. You can even have, a single stringer for very thick stairs. I wouldn't want to walk up those, but you know what I mean. And so let's just add in 3. So it's really simple and easy to construct the basics of this. So let's bang in a handrail. So I'm going to put a handrail up both sides. That's good. Let's go and put up some spindles. So we've got a load of spindles there. I'm actually going to put some end posts in as well. So let's just shrink this back so you can see it. So we've got that done. Actually, let's go back to my steps and put the risers back in. So we've got our basic stairs there. That's great. And if we want to adjust those spindles, we can have the spindles done by the span. So we could do the whole span and just drag them and decide how many we want, or we can do that by step. So we could effectively, there we go, have 1, 2. We can make them thinner and thicker as well. That's just literally thin them, adjust them as you want to. Change that back to 50 millimeters. So basically, really, really easy to adjust those on the fly. And you've also got horizontal ones. I'm just going to screw up a bit, but you get the idea. You can put them in as well if you wish. But very, very easy to create whatever you want it to do. And obviously,
it goes crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the stupid thing is, it's the kind of thing that consume a shed load of time when you're doing architectural work, but also if you're just creating sets, if you're creating, it could be a building, an office block. It could be, it works for any of those sort of things. There are industrial spindles, there are wood spindles. You've got the ability to put anything in, and actually, there's no reason why you couldn't do even widen those out and make them strips of glass. it's highly flexible, very easy to adjust. Again, if I want to adjust where I put my, spin
Andy?
or the twist, I can do that. Yes, Bud?
I have a question on the custom spindles. I know that there's a preset that has those up and down. Can you use that preset?
Yeah, give me a second. So, are you talking about the preset spindles or the? Let's have a look. So on the, let's have a look.
I just know that there's
If you go to open shelf, Andy.
Are you asking for a preset change?
Yes. If you can do
can I come back to that, guys?
Sure.
Can I come back to that in a minute? Because I'm going to be showing that. I just wanted to show some other things first, if you didn't mind. So just while we're on this, because I've constructed this, just want to show other things you can change, right? So on the steps themselves, you also can do a ball nose on the steps themselves, so you can have them with a rounded or squared, and again, you can just stretch them out to have them longer. And also you can make them deeper if that's what you wish as well. All of it adjusts the other items around it at the same time. All right. So you're constructing it. You've got full flexibility on how you put these things together, from everything from the type of step, the ball nose on the step, whether you have the risers, everything. Okay. So now presets. So some of these are not quite as solid as one would like, but let's just load up a few. So there's immediately another one. We've got like a deck one. You've got let's just do that one. And by the way, once you've got these preloaded, you can still add to those, right? So you can add more steps to those. Let's move that over. Add another platform. Again, all fully adjustable, even from the presets. You can just keep on adjusting it on the fly and messing around with it and doing what you want. There's things like shelves you can do, so you can go and make shelf units. All of those things are just easy, and either use one of these to start or just use the default to make your own. There we go. You can see that's like a sort of a beach style sort of set of steps, and again, very easy to use, very fast, very flexible, and is available obviously in the node editor, so you can presumably add other nodes to that to sort of make the complications even higher and even further. You've also got it in the modeler, and obviously you've got it here in the modifier stack. So again, hopefully you get an idea what that's going to give for you. We've called it at the moment construct or construct, whatever. We did call it at one point stairs. We've had several names for it. I think we've gone for construct mainly because it can do more than just stairs. But again, that name may change before release. But that's going to be, again, part of 25, included in there as standard. We think that's going to be a great tool for people, not just for architects, but generally when you're creating sets and those sort of things. Okay, so that's that. So I'm just going to cancel my screen. Cool. Good. So shall I do the next update?
Sure. What you got?
Okay, so let me
what was
clear
next
that
on
scene.
your list of?
Well, the next one's really a catch up. So let me just let me just get back the screen again. So let me share. Okay. So this time round, what we're going to do is just do a little bit of catching up on Step It. So let me load up base scene. So I think last time we had this, first of all, the actual interface wasn't finished and we didn't have all the tools finished. So we've got those done now. So hopefully I'll be able to show a few of those off on the next two scenes. The other thing we didn't have fully working was the ability for a character to stop walking. So we've done that now, so that's in there as well. So you can basically have a character walk, stop, start again, and that can be done multiple times. So so let's just call up the interface. So now the interface is, we're pretty close to finished. We've got to line up the envelopes and tidy up a few bits and bobs, but we're getting pretty close to how we want it to look. So I'm just going to get this going again. So we've got the ground bump. I'm going to raycast. So the moment I called up the ground bump, it only gave you the features that you could use at that point. All right. Now I've raycasted. It now gives you the rest of the features that you can use, and all the envelopes become accessible and those things, which it wasn't before. So now we've got the walk. We can basically walk up the stairs, and now the character will stop and move on, etc. Okay, so let me just pause that. Let's just have a quick look at that and how it's stopping and how that's been made to work. So I'm going to call up Picket, and on here, I think I do this on the offsets. Is that one or no? It's actually the main control one, I think. Oh, maybe, yeah, there we go. Okay, so basically what we've got here, if I call up the graph editor, you'll be able to see this. So all we've done on the movement is we've moved it along one path, and then we've staggered that position so it walks at different speeds up the stairs. At the other end of the stairs, then it holds, and we can take that and we can obviously drag that to extend the hold and do whatever you want to do to move that. So that's all we're doing, is basically a single drag line. Doesn't have to go up the hill. All the raycasting will do that for you, but effectively it's enabling you to sort of move along the line and then stop it and then put the hold in and then obviously move the character on. So and all of that is accessible from the Picket tool, which is part of the three tools that make up the it range from Sean.
Can I just
sorry.
bump in here? You can shift click on that hip node to bring up graph editor.
Yeah. Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all been added now.
Yeah. There we go.
There
okay.
We go.
So.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. So the only reason I did it manually, Sean, is because they obviously can't see me do the shift click there. But all good.
True.
All right. Okay.
Right.
So okay. So okay. So that's that. So if I want to adjust then some of those footprints, all I really need to do is just click on the actual footprint, move it to where I want it to go. So in this case, I want that on that step there. I might want to adjust the position of some of the other steps here, so I'm going to move that one back a little bit. Actually have to move that up and then drag that one back a little bit, move that up, and then I just do go for a walk, and then the character is going to do that with the new foot positions. So really easy to adjust the positions of the feet and to adjust the walk cycle and mess with it. And obviously this is not a mega refined piece of character animation, but the idea there is just to show you how easy it is to actually use and adjust. I want to show you on the next scene, I want to show you how easy it is to add animation to a scene that's got this in. Because one of the things to remember, this isn't baking the motions, this is keyframing the motions. So even though it's automatically making a walk cycle or adjusting the walk cycle or whatever, it basically is completely adjustable as it would be in any other system. So let me load up another scene. So I'm going to call up the let's go the mech rig. Okay, so again, this is at the moment not made into any animation. We've just got the basic rig and a camera move pulling back with the mech. So what I'm going to do is go step it as before. I think the ground. Let's have a look. We got. Yeah, just the ground plane. That's cool. And then we basically raycast the feet. Okay, so now what we've got is a very basic walk. Let me just, I want that to be 180 frames. So that now will do this basic walk cycle. Great. So it's very, very simple, but it lacks weight, lacks sort of impact. So I want to now add a few changes just to sort of improve that. So let's first of all, let's do the hip swing. We're going to take that up to, let's take that up to 50. I'm going to do the hip sway minus 20. I'm going to do, let's do the upper body swing back to 0. And I'm going to do the foot lift. Let's take that up to 80. And I'm going to raise the height of the feet. Let's do 280. And I'm going to put the toes down so the toes slam to the floor, just to make it have a little bit more impact. So I'm going to, let's go for a walk. And now when we walk, you can see he's now walking with a lot more impact. So bear in mind, I'm not having to re-raycast. I'm just adjusting stuff on the fly. Oh, sorry, I haven't got the last. I didn't have the last bit keyframe, so forgive that. That's what it should be. There we go. So there's our basic walk cycle. What I now want to do is animate the rest of the actual rig here. So I'm just going to move that over. I'm going to click on Picket. So a couple of things with the Picket. Obviously, we've still got Hand It as well, but it's not applicable to this model, which I think I showed fairly extensively last time. So on this, we can change, first of all, the type of character in here, which we haven't really covered this, but we can have as a woman. We can add more. We're going to be adding more to this, by the way, and we're also going to try to make it so that you can add your own at some point as well. We're working on that. So there's different templates for different sort of things here. Oh, there's my dad, and that's me. Okay, so now basically I'm going to keep it with that one. I don't know why, but mainly because I like it. And we click on the offset. So I can never remember which one of these two it is. I think it's that one. No, sorry, I should have been on rotate. That's my fault. There we go. Okay. So yeah, cool. Okay. So I'm just going to delete that. So I'm going to drag it forward. At the point where it goes here, I'm going to let it get to that point. I then want to have it rotate back to have a look at what's just passed. So let me just drag that round. Might actually rotate that over a little bit so it does that. So it goes like that. Rather than it go back to its position, I'm going to keep that looking till that position. So let's just take that back up that way. So we've now got that going like that. And then I'm going to have the head go back and look the opposite direction. So let's do around that way. Keep looking over there for a little bit. And then move his head back to there. So, and we've done that in seconds. We've created the walk cycle. We've animated the character, completely independent of the Step It, and we're able to pick the joints and bits using Picket. So Picket obviously was a bit that we knew was coming, but we hadn't finished. That's now done. We'll have interchangeable template images there for you to choose something more similar to the object you're animating, very much like the old man and the mech. And we'll also have hopefully the ability for you to do your own grabs of your character and put those in as well. May not get that done by release, but it will be done over the coming months. We'll get that done and sorted as well. So I think that's what we've done. So we've done construct, we've done Step It, updates, and we've done Ripper. Okay, so we're good, I think. So okay, so let me just get back here. So I just need to work out how to access the main screen. There we go. I'll also post. Actually, I'll do that after. As soon as I finish this, I'll post that I've done a couple of videos that basically are showing Ripper with no processing and a grab with Ripper with the processing, just so you can see that as well side by side. And the thing with those two videos is just remember that the first one was done instantaneously. The second one took probably 5 minutes to do. But if you're thinking from an animatic point of view, putting it onto a timeline, adding a bit of noise reduction on it, less than 5 minutes, it's still super fast. So I'll post that up in a few seconds, and that's me, I think, done. Juice, do you want to take over?
Oh, I've got some things I can show.
Yeah, a few things. Obviously, be careful. The minor thing at the end, undersell it.
Right. Okay. I just want, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing here. One of the I want to make people aware, and I want to make that we listen, and again, we're users of Lightwave, and we try also to, in addition to doing large features, we'll go back and we'll add some of those things that are I don't know, they annoy me at least. One of the things that I've forever had to do, or the way that I've always done it, if I wanted to do a box with rounded corners, but just on one side, what I would do is I would pull in my radius here on a flat. I'd increase my segments, drop that, right, select merge, then come in here and select and remove the points, and then extrude to get what I would want. I'd like to go ahead and point out that we've got a new thing here, little short, little easy thing in the numeric pad that I can now click on one dimension. And so now I can do it on X, Y, or Z as just a one-shot thing. Will this send anyone to doing what? No, but I tell you what, it sure does save me time. It saves me so much time on doing something like this. It's just I felt it was worth showing because it is one of those things that come up. All right, now for something a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and let's throw some box back down here. What I want to do is I want to talk about supernormals. So real quick, I'm just going to chamfer this box to bring in, let's see, and what I want to do is I want to do it the other way. So, good grief. So, performance anxiety, right?
Yeah.
The one thing is, like, I've always done this and I always grab the wrong tool. Okay, so like this. Now I'm going to turn off my wires. So I want you to understand and to see really what we're looking at here, and pull up my surface editor to illustrate the smoothings. Now these are things that we've had, but we haven't been able to do anything with them. So if I turn on smoothing, we see that everything is being smoothed because of the smoothing threshold. What I'm going to do is I need to do a couple of steps because of a little bit of limitations currently, but we're aware of them. We'll get there. So I need to create myself a new vertex normal map. So I'm just going to do this. I'll just call it test. Real creative, I know. And put that here. And so now I can turn on supernormals. So now what you can see is what again, I've got smoothing off, but now what I'm doing is I'm actually seeing the effect of the vertex normal map being used here. I've got my little hairs that indicate the directions that my normals are actually pointing. And so by default, when we launch this, it uses the automatic mode, and everything has been kind of dialed in with the coplanar threshold using this and this for the defaults to be pretty much what people are expecting. But I want to go ahead and I want to try to show what with the time we've got left, I want to try to show some of the more interesting aspects of this, because this, again, this was a tool I didn't know I really wanted until I started playing with this, and now I don't know that I'll ever not ever use it, not ever not use it. One of the things that just for illustrations. So what I'm going to do is I'll create myself a ball, because this ball will help me show what's really happening here. So I'll go ahead and create my map. No, I misspelled it, but I don't care. So there's that, and we'll pop open supernormals. So here's all of the normals facing. Come down here. I'm going to go to auto. I'm going to go to manual just so that I can show you what we're dealing with here. If I choose point at target, this gives me. Currently, I don't have a gizmo coming. Not sure, but if I move my target position, I am essentially moving a point in space that is controlling the direction that these vertex points are pointing to. So I'm just moving it on the Y, but you can see what it's doing with my shading, and it's moving those points around in space. So currently, what these are doing is it's the reverse. I mean, you're kind of expecting it, but the points on the inside, as I'm moving that point, the backside is the direction that these are facing. So what I can flip these. I can turn the visibility on and off, but a lot of this stuff, it really, you kind of have to get into a use case, right? What's something that we've all done that we've not really had a good way of fixing? So I'm going to try to show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this ball, and I'm going to paste it in the second layer. And what I'm now going to do is come over to another layer here, and I'm going to, let's just do this. Let's create some text. And I'm going to extrude this to cut through this surface. So what I want to do is I want to use my solid drill, and what I want to do is I'm going to stencil it to a new surface. So this and this. So here we go with this, and so what we're now going to be looking at, if I remove that, so no smoothing, we turn on smoothing, and this is where, yeah, you can see these, right? We're all used to what these are. These are those errors that you get when a polygon has too many points, and it's all jankied up because the smoothing doesn't know which way to go because you've got too many surfaces. So let me show you this. Again, I'm going to create myself a vertex map. So new vertex map. Oh, down here, new VM, new And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that original ball in the background layer. And when I fire off supernormals, I'm going to say manual transfer. So what it's now going to do is it's going to use the background layer, its normals, its faces, to tell the normals on this layer which way to go, especially when I say use raycast. So now that I've used raycast to fix all of these, now I don't have those smoothing errors anymore. Granted, I've got a little bit of coplanar things going on here, but that smoothing is now fixed. I now have ways of fixing my smoothing that I never had before. Let me really bake your noodle on this one. So
That is so cool, by the way.
I'm
Just gotta say.
going to put a box around this,
Yeah.
and let's do it right, like this. And if I bring this here and this here and say supernormals map supernormals, we'll go manual, we'll go transfer, and we'll go raycast. So now, as you can see, it's putting, and I can even change my exponent here to really control these things. So I can make a round box, a round sphere, look like an odd Dungeons and Dragons dice.
but that is so cool, don't you think? I mean, just the ability to have something shape the normal view, the shading view, the normals view of it is phenomenally powerful, unbelievably good.
Now,
I think so.
I don't. Here's what'll really mess you up. I don't have to use the entire thing. So if I do this same bit, and I say manual, and I say transfer raycast. So you see now, I can make something that's round look flat. Think about this for, well, like cell shading. And Lewis, yes, this tool can be used to fix. Matter of fact, let me show you. Let me do this. I'll do this. I'm going to do this for Lewis because I just saw it. I think we've all been there. So let me do this. Let me do another unit primitive box, and let's do that chamfer. And again, I'll do a new VM and super normal. So there we go. We've got it all nice and smooth. Now, we have to do something. We need to rotate this. We need to rotate this. We need to rotate this. And now, what's happening, Lewis? What am I looking at? It rotated, and now they're bad again, right? Because you brought in a vertex normal on a rotated CAD data, just like you just asked. So all vertex normals are broken. Boom, I've just fixed them. So yes, I am anxious to use this to fix those rotated CAD vertex normal maps that just messed up. I now have a tool that I can fix it with.
Yeah, and that happens all the time. I mean, on the engineering stuff, we have it all the time. So brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know. Do I have time? Well, I tell you what. Let's look at what we were talking about with the reconstruction filters.
Oh yeah,
Let's
I'd love. That's good.
let's touch on this real fast. It's one of those things that in it's going to be an in-use type of a thing that it will make more sense. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do my best because it's still a little heady for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to render to camera properties first. And I'm going to turn off adaptive sampling, and I'm going to take my filter radius to 1. So essentially what I have just done is I have turned off anti-aliasing. 100%. It's gone. Under my final render buffers, you can see the reconstruction filter, and you might now notice that there's a couple of new controls, new bits here. As a matter of fact, if I show any of these, you'll see that most of them have at least this one other, one possible, potentially more controls. So what are these? What is this? So the filter radius multiplier literally plays off of the filter radius here in your camera. If I hit render on this and I bring this up and I zoom into this edge and I especially look at the alpha, you see that I have turned this off, anti-aliasing. The multiply 1 by 1 is 1, so here we are. Thank you very much. If I change this to 2, then now the same 1 second render time, now as you can see, I've got a softer edge. And if you look at the alpha, it's absolutely softer because of this multiplier. So what this is allowing is these reconstruction filters give the render, as you know, in my layman's terms, it's how to make those sawtoothed edges smoother. And it's giving me a control that I didn't have before. All I could do is just try to throw more and more passes, more and more anti-aliasing passes, this, that, and the other. So what I can do here now with this adjustment with the reconstruction filters themselves is I can get myself a nice, soft, unjagged edge before I ever touch anti-aliasing. So what this is meaning is I can keep some of those details that I would lose if I overcranked or overemphasized something in either my sampling or in the number of samples or the radius or whatever. This is just another level of control. And what I have found is that I don't have to go 16, 24, 32. I can back it back off to 4 and 8, 8 and 12. And with just a touch of touch on that radius multiplier, and I can get a nice smooth fast render. I'm just checking the chat because it's making a whole lot of binging noises. So anyway, so that's a quick overgloss, of some of the changes done in the passes. Now, bear this in mind. This is per buffer. So I can have my final render have one setting. I can have my alpha have either a different setting or no setting if I wanted to have levels of control when I get it into my compositing application. Okay? So with that...
Okay, before just want to add, if you just want to add that. So obviously, just to be clear, I mean, it is a massive change for how we do the anti-aliasing and we do the rendering. It's
bear
so
this in mind,
cool.
it's not the anti-aliasing. You know, it's a reconstruction.
No. Yeah.
You know, so it's I'll have to check on that, Kelly. And as far as a 2024 bug fix, I'm still working on some things. I'm getting just a couple of little bits and pieces, so it's the patch is not dead. I'm still balancing a couple of things, and hopefully in the next coming weeks I'll have some more information on that. So, just to touch on the bug fix. With the time we've got left, what do you think? You think I could just show a little bit, just a little bit? What do you think, Andy?
Do you know? Yeah, just make it short. Make it small.
I think we'll just stop there. What do you
think?
Do it, Andy.
It is small.
Okay.
Just show it. Just show it.
All right, we'll show it. We'll show it. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to load up a scene. And this is something that well, it's been in the works, and I will tell you this. I will tell you this. I have used the system that is in Lightwave for years. And I have had a number of projects that I've used the system for with great success. But I did not know how limited we were until I started messing with what I'm about to show you here. So, just a couple of little bits that I'm going to do real quick here, because I want to turn on VPR. And as a default, we've got radiosity and everything else on, and I don't really need to have that. So I'm going to turn off effect diffuse and effect specular for my environment light, because I don't need it. And I'm going to come in here to my surface editor, and I'm going to come in and change these to a cell shading model. This is all standard normal stuff. We've had this. And this particular ground plane, I'm going to go ahead and unplug that so that I can get just this. Now, if I wanted to add lines as if I was going to cell shade this, the way I would do it is I would pop open my object properties, and I would go into my edges controls, and I'd have a bit of controls. Let me show you what we've been working on. So Control F8, and I can pop open my pixel filters here, and I'm going to turn on this filter. This control panel here has a number of bits in it. I will just try to do it as simply as I can. I can add layers. I'm going to add my first layer here, and this first layer you can see has a couple of bits in it and some icons to the side. So what I'm just going to do is, for items, I'm going to add an object, and I'm going to choose my Scout Walker object. For this, it now throws essentially lines around that item. Add a size of 0 and a color. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's change its color so that I can more easily see what I'm dealing with. And I can change its size. So if I went to 5, say, and this is around this particular object. This object, and that's it. I'm going to quickly drop out out of VPR just so that I can do this one bit a little faster, so that I can throw in model. I just want to throw in a sphere and bring the sphere around. because I want to illustrate that if I then drop in this other object, and let me do it the happy way and say sphere. It helps if you can spell sphere object. So now that I've added this sphere object, you can see that it's inheriting the same things, the same settings that I've got here. Well, I can also select that sphere object and turn on its eyeball. Now this eyeball means that in this layer group, I now have additional controls. This is an override. If I were to turn smoothing on for him, so now it just does the outline. Let's make this larger. Now, this is great. These are wonderful. I can have multiple layers. I'm going to add another layer. And so let's go ahead and add that same sphere. And I missed. Add object. That's what happens when you get the palsy. So I'm going to come here and I'll make this red. So now I've got two lines. And oh, wait a minute, say it's in its own path. God, you try to do a build up, right? You try. Fine. I'll come up here to VPR and show you that as I add each layer, it's automatically creating its own AOV. So if I turn on just that AOV, I now get just the green lines, well, and the black line because the other line is black. If I come down here now to this, it's just going to pull up the layer that's just the red. Automatic AOVs, automatic alpha channel, the whole thing. God, you just don't let me do any kind of. I want to hear I'm showman, trying to do showman, and you just rain on my parade. So if I wanted to, also I could add. Let's go ahead and add another layer, and I'm going to come down here and say instead of this, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say add surfaces. So let me add the body and the roll cage to the surfaces down here. And so let's say these now get a blue line. Oh, also, I should make mention that these all also have priority. So as you can see, I've got body and roll cage. If I I also didn't make mention that if I drag and drop, I could change the layering of which line gets drawn on which line. And also, if I come here, each one of these has a priority. So the priority is how they stack in their group. So think of a layer as a group. Think of items as a subgroup, and then underneath that is even subgroup. So the eyeball allows me to overlay and the like. So we are running. Let me just touch on a couple of quick more things here. Let me come here to body. I'm going to override because I want to show a couple of other things here. Like I can turn on depth scaling. Gosh, I hardly got to do. Well, you know what? I do have this. This is something that I had rendered prior time. So this is an animation here, and you can see that I can even do the lines on shading. You can see I've done the lines on on the shadows, and with each one having their own AOV, I can pull out and render to any of these layers that I want to. And I didn't get to touch. I can kind of show it a little bit here. There's actually a node editor for controlling how these lines are drawn, so I can apply textures. I can apply any number of things to change the way lines are drawn. So really, just an abundance.
The thing, I think the thing which is blown me away when obviously we've both been playing with this for the last few days, and you a little bit more than me, but it's not just the ability to get out the layers. That's awesome. You can have them with oversampling, without oversampling, so they can be unanti-aliased or anti-aliased, which is great. You also then can use any part of the shading for the edges, which can give you really unusual three-dimensional looks. They can be animated, so you can have textures running through them. It's so unlimited. It's not just good for anime people. It's actually good for people who want to create, sort of highlights around an object or something in a three-dimensional wireframe that's animated or that has shading depth and texture. It's kind of just super flexible and very fast, and yeah. Anyway, just an amazing.
So here,
yeah.
Just drop in here, and I'm gonna just turn on my surface evaluator for the ground plane in my node editor for it. And so let's see. Oh, I should have done it here. So node editor, surface evaluator, plug into the shading, and you'll see that because it's now evaluating the reflection, diffuse, and the glossiness of this particular object, the ground plane, I'm now drawing the line around the shade, around the shadow. If I wanted to add, say, a texture to that, I could drop, instead of that, I can drop in the color into the shading from the flakes. Now it's not going to read, currently it's going to read just the outline of that. So let me make these just a little larger, say.
How cool is that?
And so now I'm doing that. Well, but what if I want to have the shadow too? Well, I'm in a node editor, right? So I can pull in my mixer and say, let's plug this into here, let's plug that into there, color into the shading, and let's say make it additive. And give my poor little computer a second. And so now I'm doing both. I'm now outlining the shading as well as the surfacing. So, and fine, let me just take that color and plug it into the color bit of my of that, and you see that now I've got the color of the flakes is in the color of the lines. What if I took turbulence and plugged its alpha into the scale of the lines? So now instead of the lines being 100% all the time, they're varying with the texture of the turbulence. So really, this is giving you unparalleled power, and with being able to render these things into its own passes, when you get into the compositing, well, you can even do more. It's because it's all creating it at the same time. I'm seeing 5-second, 10-second renders for this stuff.
Yeah. So I suppose I mean, just to add to that, really, I think I mean, first of all, this is only the start of what we've got planned. Just thought I'd mention that this is the start of what we've got planned. We're going to be doing obviously more to that, and the original intention we looked at some of the packages like Pencil 4 and numerous other packages, and our plan was to create something, because obviously the last few years Lightwave hasn't really had all the tools needed for the anime people, and we wanted to just resolve that and try to get something done. And we hit a couple of brick walls, and we went a few routes that then required us to do other things. But actually, once we cracked it, we've got something here that just kept on getting more and more powerful. It got more and more flexible. It got more and more capability. And of course, then the moment you add it to the existing node system, it's just super powerful and super flexible and very fast. So yeah, amazed at that. And I think, by the way, both me and Juice have lost a fair amount of time just playing with it. It's one of those sort of rabbit holes. You'll dive into it and you're just like, oh, okay, and now I can do this, and now I can do that. Oh, I can do this, and it just it's you're really limited by what you're thinking about, really, and what you can think up. Fantastic.
Yeah, this really brought back to me the line from Excalibur. When he says, I did not know how empty was my cup until someone filled it. And it's just I was amazed at when I started realizing, oh, I can do this now. Oh, I can do that now. Instead of just having it based, one level on one object, and that was it. Because now I can do multiple layers. I can have the same thing in multiple places. I can do multiple colored lines in multiple colored areas. I can thin and thick. I can texture the lines. I can, and with it automatically creating me the AOVs to work with in post. And there was the one thing at the very top, the resolution multiplier. What that is if I leave that at 1, then I'm not anti-aliasing the lines at all. But if I increase it, then it smooths it out even further. So it's 100% controllable by what you're, because there are some people that use those, the anti-aliasing stuff in post. They'll use it on, some tools in After Effects, say, that'll do that in post. So they don't want it to be anti-aliased in the render. We give you that control. So I'm just it's so much it blows me away. Just blows me away.
Actually, just to be clear though, I think when you do use the sampling, it is super smooth, isn't it? Very easily, I think it's fantastic having that complete flexibility. I think be it I was going to try to post, by the way, some stuff up on the chat, but you can't drop videos into here, or not that I've managed to work out. So what I'll do...
we'll have to do some stuff. We'll have to put some things together. And I think just see... I hope I'm misreading what I am reading, but it may be the truth. And if that's the case, guys, Andy and I will have to work, put something together to put up on YouTube as a replacement, because it looks like the recording for this Teams meeting just failed. So we might have to put something else together as a replacement.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Let's start again. We'll do it again now. No, it's fine.
Looks like Dubai recorded it. I will. Cageman recorded it. You know what? We've got the greatest. I
love you guys. Yeah, brilliant.
I love you guys.
Fantastic. Good.
That's great. Good. We'll get those from you guys.
Amazing.
That's my show.
No, we're done. So I just going to do a quick summary.
Do a
I mean,
summary.
So obviously, anybody who wants to update, it's only a week to go. I would do it now. Hopefully, we've shown you enough to warrant. God Almighty! I mean, just the ability with the line shading, with the toon shader. Honestly, if you can't make that work for you across multiple fields, I'd be amazed. It's outstanding, and it's going to be fantastic. Anyway, of the updates we've done, each time we've done an update, I've said that's the biggest update that you've had since Lightwave. Boom, this is the biggest update. It's bigger than last time's update. And at this time, when we started it, I thought it's going to be hard. How the hell are we going to top the last one we did? And then we put this together, and obviously we've known about some of this stuff on the last demo and just didn't want to say because it wasn't quite finished and so on. But it is. I think this is an unbelievable update. Forget whether you've been using Lightwave for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, whatever. I think as an animator, that system, with the step it, with all those other tools, is going to give you the capabilities and speed of processing and outputting that's unprecedented. And that cell shader can be used for so many more things or toon shader can be used for so many more things than just the toons. It is going to be so useful for people doing infographic stuff. I mean, just all kinds of things. But obviously for the anime people, it's super cool, I think.
How many projects in the past have I done for the military in which I had to simulate FLIR, or a client says, I want this to look like a blueprint, or I want this to look like an X-ray, or any number of things. So having
blueprint.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a blueprint straight away, isn't it? I mean, easy to do that. So yeah, outstanding. So anyway, I mean, obviously, we gave a little rundown at the beginning of a lot of the new features. I think that hopefully you guys have liked what you've seen and can see also the stuff that we've improved on the other bits that we were working on and see how far they've come. I mean, I think the irony was, we thought that the Ripper would be, an unbelievably useful tool and probably one of the more powerful things in it. But actually, there are so many powerful things in this update. The new render system, the reconstruction filter, is super good. I don't think we mentioned it, but on some of the tests we've done, it's very hard to say, oh, it's this much faster, it's that much faster. But certainly on the test that we did, we were talking about some stuff being 50 to 60% quicker because you're not having to do anywhere near as much on the anti-aliasing passes. So it does end up being considerably quicker for your render output. And yes, obviously, Octane, we've done some improvements, blah, blah, blah. But actually, from the Lightwave point of view, the internal render engine just got a whole lot better. And I think also with the toon shader, why wouldn't you do that in Lightwave natively now? I just don't know why you'd want to go any other route. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Remember, 1 week left for updates. I think I've covered everything. Juice, is that a lot?
I think that's it. I mean, I think that's what we had slated. I know that a lot of people are going to be sad that we didn't do any kind of tease or things like this, but maybe we made up for it with the toon filter.
Well, we kind of did a tease throughout it, didn't we? We said it's only tiny, it's small. Oh, let's not bother showing it. It was the best we could come up with, I think. But we couldn't wait to show you. By the way, it was. We're so pleased to bring it, and also the stuff we're beginning to do with the modeling side, and some of the new tools there, and there's more tools coming which we haven't mentioned today that are going to be in the modeling side, and we've kind of spent a bit of time also mapping out what we're going to be doing next and so on. So we have a really strong path forward, and I think what we've delivered this time, I think is you're going to really, really love and enjoy. So anyway, that's it. Giles, have I missed anything, my friend? Have we covered everything, or?
No, just you said it all. It's the week left of the current pricing, and February the pricing will go up slightly. So you've got 1 week of the current pricing before it does go up a bit. and everyone's asking when's the
Yeah.
release date. It's Q1, so Feb, March.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be some soon.
Yeah. Actually, can I just mention one last thing? Because you're right, I didn't have enough energy at the beginning, and I'll just want to mention it again. DuPont. So, we've done the partnership with him. We're putting those in. They're going to be a bunch of them in on the 25, and they're being updated. Ones that are broken, we'll fix. Even the ones that aren't broken, where we can update them, we're updating them. We're going to try to make them as good as they possibly can be. And obviously, a stack of you guys use those. For all those people who are new and have never used those, they are just unbelievably good feature set that we've just added. That used to be something you'd get separate from Lightwave, and as we've done a couple of times so far in the last year and a half or whatever it is. Anyway, just to mention that again, they're going to be included as standard, updated and polished, and the first batch of those are already done and in. So that's it. Good, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've liked what you've seen. I hope you like the improvements on the stuff you'd already seen, and obviously Toon. I I really hope you like that, and we'll see you soon. I don't know whether we're going to be doing another demo before we do release, but we certainly will do an overview when we do the release, which will probably be a slightly longer session, maybe a hour and a half, hour and 10 minutes, 2 hours, who knows. So that's it. Have a really nice weekend. Remember, if you haven't got it, get it now. Let me go. I like that. I like that. Give me 1 second. How did you do yours? So you do it better than me. I love that. So yeah, I'll learn how to do that for the next one. So guys, have a really lovely weekend. I will post some stuff into what's the social media chat site most of you are on? Discord. I'll post a load on Discord now, and then Giles is going to post the rest, plus the ones I put up on Discord tomorrow. Is that all right, guys? I hope you've enjoyed it. Huge hug, and we'll see you soon. All right?
Thanks, guys.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Oh, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yep. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.